Let's bring in our friend Mark Holmes. Just me and you.
What? Wait a minute. What do you mean it's just me and you? What do you mean it's just me and you?
Philly 500, his kid is graduating today. Oh, stop. What?
What? He couldn't live stream from the graduation. It's 30 minutes. So then that means, see, I'm going to say, see, look, I've gotten something special here. You see this?
Yes.
Okay. The chicken. Okay. Philly 500. We're giving these away on my channel because Philly 500 is chicken to go to Dallas. And after the riot act that he read to me last week, oh, you gave up all the power. You're telling me he's not here today?
I'm telling you he's not here today, but he has a Micah Parsons club excuse today because his kid is graduating, and he has like a cowboy excuse.
Okay.
You know, I mean.
So wait, let me be clear here. So shit does come up that may be more important than being here. And so he gets excused, but I don't. Me giving and helping two families get back.
No, I heard you were selling maple syrup in Maine.
No, I got some maple syrup. And I tell you what, Sil, if you do come to Virginia, I have some really good maple syrup. And see, you don't know about how good I cook too, bro. Oh, my God.
My dad lives in Williamsburg.
Well, come on and visit him. I got a guest bedroom down here. I will feed you the nicest steaks, some pulled pork and everything else, and some fresh pancakes with Vermont maple syrup.
It actually sounds very tasty. I actually like that. All right, let's get into this
But
here.
one thing real quick, because I see that you have the trolls like I do. Because I'm one of those stealth YouTubers where I watch the feed and stuff and see what's going on, just kind of check the pace of the room. And this guy C24 said, as soon as Mark Holmes is on, I'm gone. But I still see him here. I still see him here.
They're not going nowhere.
You know, it's funny because, see, they hate me, but they love to watch me.
Somehow that has been a mantra in my life. That's for damn
sure. Lordy. So
all right.
You wanted to ask me about my Cowboys.
What about my comment I made that everyone's talking money instead of talking championships in Dallas?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple things. I'm going to say that yesterday I ended up kind of just saying F Micah Parsons.
Wow.
No, and here's the thing. Here's the thing is.
You want him off the team?
No, just let me explain this, because I'm seeing a clip here from Jane Slater and I'm seeing a clip here from John Machada and stuff. And when you take these pieces, like when he says, you know, I've hardly talked with Mike Zimmer, you know, we haven't had more than 20 words. You know, he has things that he likes to do his way and things that I like to do my way. When you hear things like that, it sounds really bad, like, you know, he's ready to fight. But what I did this morning was I watched the whole 12-minute interview. And when you watch this thing, you get a totally different perspective than you do from just little bits and pieces of it. And the way he explained things, he's like, look, I'm undersized playing defensive end. He said, by the end of the season, I am literally beat up. And he said, what I like to do is basically let my body heal. He said, I don't really like to get on the field till May and June and really start doing that stuff. And in some regards, I can understand that. And this actually goes towards what the NFLPA is trying to do, where they're trying to basically take OTAs and make it part of training camp and start that sooner.
I am so sick of his whining.
Yeah, you know what?
He is a pussy.
A pussy that gets a lot of sacks.
Every single time I hear him talking. Let me put this in perspective to you. You think that guy's really Charles Haley?
He has the ability to be.
No way. Is he in Charles Haley's league?
But see, here, I'm going to tell you, because see, when you first were like, I don't know who the hell Mark Holmes is and Stephen Jones, this, that, and the other. I got a chance to interview your head coach from college, Jimmy Johnson because, I had the connection with Charles Haley. And the thing about Charles Haley was if you looked at what his career was when he was in San Francisco, he's crazy. I'm telling you, if you're in the locker room with Charles Haley, you better keep your head on a swivel because you don't know what's going to be flying in your face.
Absolutely.
Okay?
And he means that in appendages. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like I said, I remember from JMU, and it's like when I hear stories, it's like, yeah, that sounds about right. But Jimmy Johnson, because I asked him, about Charles Haley and stuff, and he said, he was one of my favorite players and things. And he said, I got him in practice one time, and Charles came to my office, and he said, look, coach, I'll do anything you want me to do, but just try not to disrespect me in front of everybody else. And he said from that point on, they became and developed a great relationship. So part of that, understanding that you have a great talent, is having the coaches to figure out how to motivate them, because you got some crazy people out there that you do have to deal with. The question is can they figure out how to harness that power? Because I want those 13, 14, 15 sacks a season. I just got to make sure how we can coexist and get the most out of this guy for as long as he's here.
They've created something they can't coach. And I'm going to tell you where I am with him. He is limited. And I'm going to tell you why he's limited. They need to line him up on the weak side, not strong side, because he cannot handle offensive tackles and tight ends blocking down on him.
Not all season. Yeah, he can't.
Because he just can't. Right. Do you ever notice that the second half of the season, he's missing Parsons instead of Micah Parsons?
Yeah, and when you're 245 pounds and you're going against offensive tackles that are 320, your body wears down. I'm sorry, that's not it. He is the perfect mismatch. And if you're putting him outside every single play, by the end of the season, he's going to be done. It's just like when you've got the bellwether running back and you run him all season long, 20, 30 times a game. By the time the season's there, he's got nothing left in the tank. So the thing is you got to figure out how to use him to maximize his abilities where he doesn't get beat up all the time by the tackles. And I think Mike Zimmer will do that. The other part of that equation is you need a Robin on the other side that's also going to take some of that focus away.
Let me go into some of the comments about Kellen Moore at the first mandatory minicamp. The quarterbacks are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts.
Surprise. Okay.
They're struggling. And today, supposedly, I just got a text. He's having another horrible day at minicamp. And so I said this to the Eagle fans, and this is why they're a little bit aggravated with me right now.
Oh, they love you so much.
That this guy hasn't played well in practice, in a game, since the overtime against Buffalo. He hasn't played well in any time since. And this is pitch and catch. This is just like,
this is nobody coming at you.
Throwing a Nerf ball around.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore.
And see, this is where, I will say it's only mini camp in the beginning of the summer and stuff.
See, when you say that, this is what I say to that. But Mark, it's set up for you to have success.
Yes. What do you want me to say? Oh man, that's terrible.
You shocked that Kellen Moore and the offensive guys are struggling?
See, here's the thing. Everybody looks at Dak Prescott and they say he's a bum. Somebody else made him. When it was early in his career, it was like, oh, it's Zeke Elliott, right? Even though he had Jason Garrett originally calling the plays and stuff, and then Scott Linehan. Then it was, Kellen Moore is the boy genius. He's got Dak Prescott doing all these great things, right? He goes to the Chargers, and the Chargers fans, I remember, because this guy was like, oh, my God. He's like, oh, my God, we got Kellen Moore. Now he's got a real quarterback to work with. He's a genius. And what's kind of interesting is you look at Justin Herbert, who had 38 TDs, his second year went to 25 and then down to 20. And Kellen Moore is gone. Was it Justin Herbert or was it trying to adjust to Kellen Moore's offense? Dak Prescott loses his offensive coordinator, less interceptions. leads the league in the NFL in points. So was it Kellen Moore or was it Dak Prescott?
How many coordinators has Dak had in the last 4 years?
4 years? Well, it'll be Kellen Moore, and because Kellen Moore was there for 3.
Kellen and Mike?
Yeah, and then Mike. But the year before that, it was Scott Linehan.
So in the last 5 years, he's basically had only 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Which does make a difference.
Would you say even with those 3, outside of that one turnover year he had, it's been pretty consistent no matter who the play callers are?
It has, yeah.
Okay.
He's gotten,
Well,
he's
Hurts.
had the natural progression. As a rookie, the
Hurts
ball
hasn't
is more
been.
running.
Hurts has not been consistent at all with any of the play callers outside of 22.
Oh.
So my point is with Dak, this is why I say Dak's a better thrower of the football, is because at the end of the day, now Dak Prescott, winning in the postseason, everyone makes it sound like it's easy. It's not. Peyton Manning is 1 game over 500, and so is Aaron Rodgers 1 game over 500.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, stop lying. You backed up, gun to the link first. Said that you reneged.
No, I tell you what. Here's what I'll do, okay? Because I have asked Philly 500. I have literally last year made a bet. I said, listen, let's go to the link. Let's watch the game. And the losing team has to wear the other team's jersey. The Cowboys got their ass kicked in Philadelphia. I would have worn an Eagles jersey.
Wait a minute. Now, see,
seriously,
that's no.
That was the bet I proposed. But listen,
what you're doing is you're celebrating Cowboy mediocrity, which is normal for you.
I'm just saying, I think it would be incredible to have you, me, and Philly 500 there in Dallas, because this is, the rumble in the jungle, man. This is the two of our teams.
Shouldn't it be what team?
Just break the internet.
Surely it should be what team goes further in the postseason.
What, we can do that too.
Are you afraid of? You have to be.
We can do that. Listen, listen, bro. Let me be clear here. I will meet Philly 500 wherever he wants to go. Okay. I will open up my calendar. If it wants to be at the link, I'll be at the link. If he's too chicken to go to Dallas,
you're gambling on mediocrity again.
If it's in the playoffs we play, listen. Let me speak clear here. I'm willing to go anywhere. Hell, if you had told me I had to go to his son's graduation, I would have go there. I'm going to be in California at training camp, okay? So I'm coming 3,000 miles. I know he's about 5 hours north. Let's meet halfway then or something.
You're going to be in Oxnard?
I'm going to Oxnard, bro. I believe I'm going to be there.
You up there.
Here's what we've heard that the Cowboys are going to be practicing against the Rams before the preseason game.
Oh, that's even closer.
Okay, so I'm sitting there thinking I'm going to be there for that week because, they always are fighting because that'll be great footage. And then go to the preseason game too. Start the season off right.
Maybe I should do one of my shows up there, either from I can't do it from the Cowboy place, but I could do it from the Ram place.
Okay.
Okay. Are you kidding me?
I
can't do this show from Oxnard.
Bro, I'm sitting here on your show every freaking week, man.
I can't even show my Cowboy helmet. They made me put it in a box. Even Xander did. Do you understand? They said, you know what they said to my Cowboy helmet when I showed it? They said that's the best looking outhouse urinal I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. I hear you on that one. But no, seriously, I'm trying to do a whole lot of different events and stuff. And Philly 500, I cut him up a lot and all that, but he's my boy. Him and I are like family. Okay. We're like, he's like that crazy uncle that you tell the kids not to get close to.
I see your game. Don't you dare soften people up so you can give them backhanded slaps in the back of the head. I know you, Mark Holmes. You can't pull that shit on Big Sills. I know you. I know who you are. Hey, man.
Okay. All right. So you know who I am. That's
your
cool.
Team sucks.
Yeah, but you know what? We both went home the same weekend this past year. So I'd say we both got a lot to prove. But let me tell you, I learned a new trick, man.
Tell me.
Check. Oh, look, I want you to listen to this. You hear this? Do you hear this?
Okay.
That's the Eagles. You hear this? You hear that?
Yeah.
That's the Cowboys. 5 rings.
Oh! Oh, do that again. Do that again. So
here's the Eagles.
He's talking championships.
And here's what I'm going to say, because this is actually really, really important and near and dear to me. I understand it's been a while since the Cowboys won.
Jiggle again. I want the cowboy jiggle again. It's actually very good.
Okay. But here's the thing. You, knowing, of course, Michael Irvin and the Cowboys of the 90s, and knowing great players like Larry Allen, I know it was a long time ago, but you have to look at what those guys were. And you can't just take the history and just cherry pick part of it, because you were actually looking at some of the greatest players that have actually played the game of football. And to say, that doesn't mean anything. That's bullshit. You know what Michael Irvin was. You knew what Emmitt Smith. You knew what Larry Allen, Charles Haley, and things like that. That's the only thing that I wish, is that these younger generations knew more about the guys that came before them, that actually made the game what it is now.
You know what? I think what we should be doing now here is, if we're going to talk about Cowboy history, we should talk about FDR and what kind of great president that he was 65 years ago.
Okay.
Hey, man, he had the Tennessee Valley Authority thing where he put people to work. It was a really great president.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only president that actually acted like people think Trump will act, and said, I'll add myself, of course, a Democrat, I'll add myself another term. Let me just do it.
Shit.
And I'll just, he did.
Jokes.
Did he not?
He got jokes.
Wait, he did he not?
Wait a minute. No, seriously. Okay.
Did Roosevelt just go like this? Well, I'll just give myself another term.
Let me ask this. No, serious question. Okay, serious question. So when I look back at the Cowboys 90s team and I think about Michael Irvin as a Cowboy player for life, or Troy Aikman and things, iconic players across the board, so many of them. Do you look at the Eagles of 2017 that won that Super Bowl and say that's like a Reggie White? Do you look at those guys and say that those are true Eagles iconic guys that their names will live on forever?
Come on, dude. Differently, no player movement, no salary cap. Can't do that. Can't do that. You know better than that. You know better. Jimmy didn't deal with cap era.
No, he didn't.
Cap era. That what they did in 17 may have been a one-year wonder if it wasn't for the 22 appearance. Okay?
Yeah.
They put that team together. Get this. They lost their starting middle linebacker, their MVP quarterback, and their future Hall of Fame left tackle, and still beat Brady and Belichick in a Super Bowl with a substitute teacher. I mean, dude.
Yeah, they did. I'm not saying they weren't a bad team.
I get what you're saying about the Cowboys, but the Cowboys were built by Landry and Jimmy.
Yes. And I don't know that there'll be another team like that.
95% of that old line was put together by Tom Landry and Gil Brandt.
And none of them were first-round draft picks.
Not one of them. And Nate was a throwaway from Washington and from the USFL. Okay, the only guy in that old line that really was anything when it came to draft picks early was Stepnoski, because he took over for Rafferty.
Yeah.
Okay, and Crawford was a third-rounder out of Florida, and he got drafted in the third round. And then they added Eric Williams, obviously. If Eric Williams doesn't get in that car wreck, then we're talking about a potential future Hall of Fame guy. Hey, I do want to say this to you about Larry Allen.
Yeah.
He's the greatest offensive lineman
beast
I've ever seen. And I'll say this to you. Hey, Mark, this is all seriousness. Campo sent me the day he benched that 700 pounds at Valley Ranch.
That
was at Valley Ranch when he did that. And Dave sent me that on my email. And he goes, you got to watch this thing. And sure enough, man. And the movement he had, the guy who ran down with the Saints.
Unbelievable.
Man, 52 years old. What a shame. That guy, in my opinion, was one of the greatest players I've ever seen at any position. I mean, just tremendous of a football player.
Way too soon. So I want to go back though for a second here. So are you hitting the panic button about Jalen Hurts?
What I don't like is about Hurts is that personally, I don't believe he's the guy. I just don't think he's the guy. I just don't think it.
You know his contract is like a ticking time bomb, right?
Oh no, he's there. No, dude. They got him till 29.
I know.
It's
That's what
like
I'm
an
saying.
anchor around your neck until for the next like 4 years. There's people in Philly who are not saying anything. They don't care. But as far as I'm concerned, he's a 1-year wonder so far, unless he proves something to me.
Are you saying he's a Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. I think,
and I'm going to say, I don't know that Kellen Moore is going to be able to take you to another level.
You have no excuses with that offense. You're paying $175 million for that entire unit when it comes to salaries. And you see, this is why I don't want the Eagles fans to turn into Cowboy fans like you.
Oh, shit.
Because you know why? You come up with some excuse. I don't come up with excuses for anybody. And I don't give a shit if it's your boyfriend, Dak Prescott. That's the difference between me and you. That's your boyfriend. Me, nobody on that team.
Okay.
It's about the logo and winning ball games. For you, you got a love affair with Dak and everyone else's fault except Dak. Now, I'll say this to you. Dak's got to go somewhere else to win a Super Bowl because he'll never win in that place.
I'm almost at the point of saying everybody has to go somewhere else to win a Super Bowl. Because here's what drives me crazy. Because, we're sitting here. We've seen everybody get paid. And I understand CeeDee Lamb is probably like, I want to see what Justin Jefferson gets, right? And, before I get paid, because I don't want to leave money on the table. We as a fan say, well, hurry up and sign it. It's a two-way street. But now there's no excuse not to get the deal done. He's holding out, of course, from training camp, right? The Cowboys, you know what the market is. So whether you pay him 34, 35, or 36.
5 games this year.
Say what?
You'll win 5 games.
Oh, no, bro. We're going to be in playoffs again.
Absolutely. No way.
I will bet. Well, you want to bet there?
No, I want to think about this one here. I just don't want to do one of your stupid bets where you just randomly throw something. And from what I understand, Philly 500 says you end up waffling out of them or you end up backhanding out of them. I want to make sure we put something in cement here on it.
Bro, I had to wear a freaking hurt season hat for a week.
Jesus.
Okay. Now, fortunately, the Eagles don't win very often against the Cowboys, so I haven't had to do the walk of shame. There's a video out there where I say I'm Philly 500's bitch. So I'm trying to understand where I get all this stuff where Mark Holmes does. No, y'all are lying on me. Just like you got a fake Mark Holmes up in here right now that's talking smack. Okay, that ain't me.
Who's running the ball for you?
Who's running the ball? Zeke. But see, here's the thing that's interesting.
Zeke. Relic? I understand why you talk about who's next. You're going to talk about Calvin Hill?
We're talking about Mike McCarthy and his offense. He doesn't really like to run the football. Do you realize that the year that they won the Super Bowl, their leading running back only had 751 yards, that they only rushed for 1,600 yards?
You had fucking Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers only had 29 TDs and 11 interceptions on that season.
Mark, did you remember the playoff run he had too when he was in there? How many turnovers did he not have?
Listen, you do what you know. Mike McCarthy likes to have multiple players out there to get the ball to. Okay, he had Donald Driver, he had Greg Jennings, he had Jordy Nelson. And he had trying to remember the other wide receiver. He likes to spread the ball around to multiple guys. He wants to be death by 1,000 cuts. The years that he's had running backs that have rushed for over 1,000 yards have been some of the worst seasons that he's had as a coach, with the exception of being with the Cowboys. If you go back to what he did in Green Bay, he likes to use the tight ends a lot. His tight ends are key. And that's where the Cowboys have kind of started to build this offense toward it. And understand, this team led the league in points last year. Not with the best offensive line like you guys had.
Are you painting Mike McCarthy into being Mike Holmgren?
I am painting Mike McCarthy is a great offensive mind. I don't know about him as
Oh,
far as
hey,
being a
he's
coach. That's
wonderful at
motivated.
time management. Hey, did you see
No,
him
that
handle?
part. Okay, yeah.
Did you
But
see
see,
him handle the timeouts?
but see,
Last
here's the
year,
thing that's
you
lost
can't
into the
even
mix.
say that with a straight face.
I hear you. I hear you. But you know what? Other guys make those mistakes, but they're not amplified like they are because he's a Dallas Cowboy coach. Here's the other part of the equation that people don't seem to understand is Brian Schottenheimer is also key too. When Brian Schottenheimer was with the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson had his best year of career-wise, numbers-wise, with him calling the plays. So between the two of those guys there, they're calling it and working it by committee. And it worked last year. You can't look now. Come on, we scored more points than San Francisco did last year, and we didn't have a Christian McCaffrey. You had CeeDee Lamb have as many catches combined as Brandon Ayuk and Debo Samuels. We didn't have a George Kittle out there tight end.
If they put AJ Brown in the slot, and I'm suggesting they do that a little more,
That'd
he'd
be
have
scary.
2,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Your guy goes against safeties. The Eagle receivers go against corners. That's where the more talented players are on the field. Your guy runs against slow white guys who run 5 flats. That's
there
why
aren't that many white guys out there playing
and
corner.
he had 181 targets.
And why you got to be racist, huh? Leave the white guys alone, man.
Because Cooper DeJean is going to be playing safety for the Eagles. He ain't playing on the numbers.
Oh, Lord.
Come on, man.
It's going to be interesting. So you honestly believe the Cowboys are only going to have 5 wins?
5.
Okay.
Because
I'll take that bet.
You can't stop the run. And you can't run the
ball. We're going to be better at stopping the run.
And your old line right now is got massive questions. You're not the same old line Mark you were 3 years ago.
Pot meet kettle. What is your linebacking core going to do? What are your cornerbacks going to do? What is your defense going to do? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you, bro.
Okay, Xander says the Cowboys are going to win 10 games. Here we go. Ask Mark, can he get Charles Haley to join in next week to chop? I have Charles Haley's number too. I can.
Yeah, get Charles in here.
I can get Charles Haley. Do you know, as a matter of fact, I should get Irvin on here with us.
There you go. Well, Irvin.
You know what Irvin said about the Eagles? They're building a dynasty.
Yeah, okay. He's trying to pump you up a little bit there.
He did say that.
They're
he said
building
it on
a dynasty
program.
with a 1-year wonder at quarterback.
Hey, get this. Here's the difference between the Cowboys and the Eagles. They don't need to have an MVP to win the Super Bowl.
I'm sorry. Did they win it 2 years ago?
In there and win it.
Did they win it 2 years ago?
No, they went there though. I remember the Cowboys were playing golf in Cancun, or as Charles Barkley says, down there in Galveston, where all that dirty ass water is. It comes brushing up on your face. They didn't even get tickets to go to Cancun. They made the Cowboy players drive to Galveston. Okay, that's where they spent their offseason, in Galveston.
Yeah. Okay.
Bro,
all right, buddy.
Last thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if we make a bet on the win total, I don't want to see you want to do Eagles and Cowboys in the season. I'm so sick of the Cowboy guys giving the regular season MVP award out and the Super Bowl regular.
That's because
you guys have won more regular season.
If you guys were kicking our ass every year, you'd be talking about it.
That's right. The Eagle, you win more participation trophies for regular season awards than any team I know in the last 30 years. So let's make this a bet that we'll come up with something where, get this, the team that goes the furthest in the postseason.
Okay.
You can't. That's what this is about, right? Or unless you guys
the Eagles are going 8-9 this year, so you're not going to be going to the postseason.
You're winning 5 ball games.
Okay.
You know,
I just want you to remember. I just want you to remember when the offense implodes again this year.
Even your dog hates that prediction. I get it. Hey, let me say this to you, man. Even Vegas has you guys at 14 wins.
They have us favored in 14 games, but you know how that shit works because they're trying to get more people to bet. It's not about who they really think. Look, it's about them making money.
Is that what you think? Ultra Cowboys thinks 13-4.
I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go say 11-6.
What are the Eagles going to be?
8 and 9.
Oh, man. Oh, Mark, I leave you with this.
Okay.
Philly 500.
Oh, I don't want to hear anything about Philly 500. He didn't show up.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Philly 500 had a Cowboy excuse today. It was a show excuse because his kid graduated. You know, like you were making maple syrup with 90-year-olds and walking old ladies across the street. He gets the pass too, doesn't he?
I'll give him a pass.
Show that shirt again.
Oh, shit.
All right, Mark. Hey, Mark, tell folks how they can find you, brother.
Just look up for JAKIB Sports Report, man, or Cowboy Joe Boo. Of course, on Dan Sileo's show on Wednesdays when I'm not helping old ladies with maple syrup. But
wait,
Cowboy Joe Boo on Twitter and all.
You can also type in Mark Prescott. From what I understand, I think that takes you right to your channel too, doesn't it? Mark Prescott.
That joke.
Or no, Dak Holmes.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day, Mark. Thank you very much, brother.
I'll see you at the Cowboys-Rams practice. Okay.
I think so. Thank you, Mark. Have a good one, brother. Good stuff, man. All right. Yeah. All right, folks. Xander, tell me where we are in the like button, man. That was good. I may have to get up to the Rams camp up there, man. I may have to do that. I appreciate him doing that, man. It's fun. 134. All right, guys. Trying to get to 200 here. We're going to reset. Don't forget also, at the bottom of the hour, we are going to have Jason Cole. We'll talk a little bit more. Great job, Sills, being who you are and not falling for it. Well, wait. Now, wait a minute. Now, wait. I'm an equal opportunity offender. Okay? I'm an equal opportunity offender. Get 500 to a Dallas game. He's talking about teams in the 90s. I agree, man. I think that Cowboy stuff from the past, I think it's nauseating. Hey, Mr. Perez, nobody cares. Well, you do care because that's your – I love how Eagle fans just go like this. Well, Cowboy guys don't matter. That's not true. It's the most highest rated game for the Eagles every year, and it's your biggest rival. Okay? Dak Holmes. Hurts needs Barry Switzer to hire a wishbone coordinator. Ooh, man. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm getting a little bit of an update here about Hurts' performance today. I've got some intel. About Hurts' practice. Who starred? Becton at left guard and right guard. Devontae. Okay. Yeah. So what we're going to do is take a timeout. Got a text back here. And I'll give you a little bit of the skinny on what went down today. You're going to need a beer. Yeah. Hey, as Xander and everyone says, it ain't a big deal. It's not a big deal. Hit the like button. We will reset, and I'll give you the skinny on today's day 2. Preliminary, I'll get more tomorrow too. Preliminary on your team's performance at OTA's day 2. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.